just got done watching A24's brand new dramas titled The Inspection. This is written and directed by Elegance Bratton, and it's about a young gay black man rejected by his mother and with a few options for his future decides to join the Marines, doing whatever it takes to succeed in the system that would cast him aside, and very much showing the horror story of what boot camp would be from his perspective. Now, again, this is written and directed by Elegance Bratton, and this is inspired by a true story, which is very much from his time in the military, going into the boot camp, and again, being a young gay black man in this whole entire scenario. It stars the likes of Jeremy Pope, Gabriella Union, Bokeem Woodbine, and Raul Castillo. Now, I've been not too excited for this one. There's been a lot of A24 movies for this entire year, and this movie kind of flew under the radar, went through some film festivals, and I'm like, oh, shit, it's already here. It's time to watch. And going into this, I didn't know the single concept for this. I just went right into this movie knowing it's an A24 movie, Jeremy Pope starring in it. I'm a big fan of him from Hollywood. That was a really underrated miniseries, and I thought he was the best part about that entire show, and that it was inspired by a true story. And after walking out of it, I think this movie is absolutely a must-see indie drama that if you are a fan of independent art like this is a very important movie that shows a lot of different elements. And honestly, one of the most important things about this movie is how really much it is a powerful directorial debut. And I cannot wait to see what Bratton does next, first off. And we're going to talk about all those elements, but I definitely want to hear your guys' thoughts down below, so make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, as well as comment down below your guys' thoughts. Are you guys a fan of A24 films? Is this a movie you've been looking forward to? Let me know down below. With every movie review, I love starting to talk about the pros, and that's the one thing I want to start with this review on, and that is Jeremy Pope. Jesus Christ. This is a career-defining performance. This is one of those performances that you see from an actor, and you go, all right, this guy's going to start popping up in a multitude of things. Like I've been saying about Calvin Harrison Jr., that guy deserves the entire world. The same thing goes for Jeremy Pope. After this performance, I am not just saying this because his last name's Pope, just like mine, but he was incredible. Like, every single moment in this movie, I was so invested in his character. From the very opening shot to the very last one, I just think he gave, truly enough, again, a career-defining performance, one that will shake up like Oscar races if something is marketed correctly, and as well, and just in general, the shape of Hollywood. I expect to see more of him in here, and we should have seen more of him after Hollywood, but I think this is the type of movie that really will push him up to that next level. Gabriella Union, we know her, we love her, she's a great actress, and I think this is a really good performance from her. She, maybe at times, not getting the spoilers, is kind of a despicable character that you honestly hate, but at the same time, with the relationship that she has with her son in here, Ellis French, played by Jeremy Pope, is a very important relationship to have in the movie, and for what she's given, she does a great job in there. I just wish there was a little bit more of that, and you're going to hear about that in a second. Bokeem Woodbine is also always fantastic. Anytime he shows up, he's a fantastic character actor. Honestly, for me, one of the more important parts of the entire story was Raul Castillo, who I think is one of those really important character actors that when he shows up in something, you feel like he's going to add a little bit of gravitas to certain things, and I was very happy to see that. One other actor I didn't get to mention yet, but I do want to talk about is Iman Esfandi, who I might be mispronouncing that, so I do apologize, but his character in here is one of the more important ones. And again, it goes as far to show this platoon and exactly the different elements between each and every person that went into this boot camp and what they're fighting for, what they're standing for, and maybe why they are even there. And I found that Iman's performance was very important and as well reflected Jeremy Pope's as well. And I think everyone in that boot camp, for a majority of the part between those two, were all greatly done. All those wonderful performances would be nothing if it wasn't for the great direction from Bratton in here. And I cannot wait to see what Bratton does next, because truly enough, after watching this movie, there's been some rumors that maybe he's been in talks about Blade, and I think that would be a great choice. Now, while this isn't an action-centric movie, I fully expect and I want something special for Mahershala Ali to really play off of, and I think this is a director that would be really able to give a new avenue and a new emotional route for Blade itself, while also containing something new, because the direction here is very important. While yes, it's all about this young gay black man and kind of the horror story of boot camp, as well as kind of the themes and thematics of acceptance in this entire thing and wanting to feel accepted, whether by family or your peers or in general just be a hero. There's a great monologue that Jeremy Pope gives in here, and since again this is based on Bratton's life, And once the final credits start to roll and you see, his military photo, there is some whole truth to it all. You start to look back at everything that you had seen and you feel real. The movie feels a little bit more hard hitting from that final point, and it makes you reflect on everything that you just watched. And we've seen tons of war movies, and we've seen tons of boot camp movies where boot camps are displayed, and maybe they're displayed in a very rushed mannerism, but this is an hour and a half pretty much movie on just that boot camp experience. And in general, one guy trying to feel accepted somewhere where everyone is casting him aside, the system is casting him aside. And I think this is an important movie that, again, is a must-see for those points, because there are many people out there in the world who are feeling this way for one way or another. And I think Bratton does a great job with that. And I think the character of Blade is very important. I'm not trying to go on a tangent because that rumor might be not true, but I'm really excited because I think Bratton can give development to almost any different genre because of what he was able to write and direct in here with a very graceful elegancy, but as well as develop the horror of it all. And the way that he casted along each sequence to really make you feel in the footsteps of French is one of the more important parts of this entire movie, and I loved the directing of this. I think it is a very powerful directorial debut. While simple at times for sure, it's one that really stuck with me. And the other thing to give a shout out to is the score. I thought the score was quite haunting and pulse pounding at times, and again, very much the theme and sequences of this boot camp. Honestly, when it comes down to issues with this movie, my biggest thing that I kind of had a con with is I just found that the movie could have been a little bit generic at times. And the only reason I really say that is it's nothing new that you've seen before. It's just a little bit more doubled down on everything, within the boot camp at least. I do think there was a couple more emotional points that I would have liked to see between Jeremy Pope and Gabriella Union, which I think was honestly missing. There's not enough for me to really feel between the mother and the son relationship here, besides a couple of scenes. To be honest, Union's probably only in the movie for less than 5 to 6 minutes, and I do feel like there could have been a little bit more runtime extended to their relationship either before or after the entire war sequence. Now, I understand this is again based on Bratton's life, so maybe there wasn't enough of there, but I feel like there's a little bit more story that you could have given to maybe before the events of the film had even started that would have given us a little bit more emotion to the entire story, I guess. Besides that, I think The Inspection is an absolute must-see movie. This is one of those movies kind of sweeps under the radar, and again, if you're probably watching this, please let me know if you actually watched this in theaters. I like saying this in my reviews sometimes because I feel like this movie will be discovered more on streaming services than it will be in theaters, which I think is a true travesty. I think the performances are absolutely stellar in here. I think Bratton does a great job at directing it, and I can't wait to see what he does next. I'm very excited to hopefully see Jeremy Pope in more things, and other than that, I really dug this movie, and I'm going to give The Inspection a B+. Let me know down below what your guys' thoughts are. Thank you so much again for watching this. You guys are really all the best. I can't wait to hear your guys' thoughts. And guys, of course, until next time, stay classy.